Hello everybody and welcome. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my tactic idea for a club in South America. And let's get started with an overview. We'll be looking at Santos today and figuring out what to do with their tactic. There are so many ways to build a tactic in Football Manager, but one of the most effective ways to do it is to have a plan. This plan can be really anything, but it's a good stepping stone to having an effective, successful tactic. So what's my plan for Santos? I want to play a high press system. This includes choosing player roles that focus on pressing and defending. Next, I want to counterattack. Win the ball and quickly get players forward to take advantage of an unsettled opponent. And finally, use a playmaker. This is with an updated database, so Santos has Neymar, and I want to use him in a playmaking role. When thinking about a formation for this tactic, I wanted to choose something that keeps players up the field and allows us to press quickly. Because the sooner we can press, the sooner we can win the ball back, and something like a back three doesn't have enough players forward. And this is the formation I've chosen, a 4-2-4. It lets me use two strikers as the first line of our press. And we've got two advanced wingers to give that attacking focus. The two defensive midfielders can help provide protection and cover in case the opponent breaks through the first line of our press. Now that we've got our tactic and formation, in the next section we'll talk about some player roles. This is the same tactic from the libero and inverted fullback combination video, so this should look familiar. The strikers are going to be the front line of our press. Naturally, I'm using two pressing forwards. The one on attack plays more like a traditional striker, and the one on defend likes to drop into the midfield. Speaking of the midfield, I'm using a ball-winning midfielder on defend and a segundo volante on attack. Two aggressive roles that will patrol the midfield looking to win the ball while also helping out our attack. The backline consists of the aforementioned libero and inverted fullback on one side, and then the standard central defender and fullback on support on the other. For the wingers, I'm using a winger on support to keep our width. And on the other side is the trequartista, the one role free from the pressing requirement in our tactic. When making a tactic focused around an aggressive press like this, there are two attributes I like to look for. The first is work rate, which is the player's willingness to work to his full capacity, essentially the effort they put into their shift. This is a required key attribute for the pressing forward and the ball-winning midfielder. The other attribute is teamwork, which is how good the player is at following your tactical instructions and working alongside their teammates. This is also a required key attribute for the pressing forward and the ball-winning midfielder. If we look at one of my defensive midfielders, Rincon, he's got excellent teamwork and work rate attributes. This makes him a good fit for my pressing tactic. On the other hand, if we look at Neymar, our trequartista, his teamwork and work rate are very poor. Now, he doesn't need those attributes for the playmaking role, but it does mean he probably won't be the most effective at pressing. To solve this issue, if we look at the tactic again, I've surrounded the trequartista with solid defensive roles. The pressing forward on defend, the ball-winning midfielder on defend, and the fullback on support are all on the trequartista side of the field. Now that we've got the tactic, let's check out some highlights. Our first highlight starts with the opponent's throw-in, and we're going to counter from left to right. This will be an example of what that counter looks like. Get the ball up the field quickly so the opponent can't get in their defensive shape. Our trequartista will finish off the play. In this one, the opponent's goalie has brought the ball out from the back. Here are my strikers, and it's the difference between a pressing forward on attack and a pressing forward on defend. The one on defend gives us an extra midfielder when defending, a good idea when using a 4-2-4 formation. I alluded to it earlier, but we have docile roles on the left side of the formation, and this means it's easier to get the ball to our playmaker. We ask the trequartista to make something from nothing. With counterattacks, they don't always have to start with the opponent turning the ball over in the midfield. Sometimes they can start with your goalie kicking it long. Again, watch our passing and how it's very forward thinking. Let's get the ball up the field before the defense can settle in. Our last clip will be a longer sequence. And I want to bring up the sport of basketball real quick. You see, when one team plays with a high pace, meaning they want to get up and down the court quickly, they can infect the other team with this play style. This play here will be an example of that. It starts with us on the ball attacking down the right flank. But watch what happens when we lose the ball and start our press. It forces them to move the ball quickly and get it up the field. I want it to be a chaotic play style, which means they're playing into our tempo. We'll win the ball back and get it down the field. Early results are promising for this tactic, and we've done very well to begin the season. It remains to be seen how this tactic would do in Brazil, because there are quite a number of matches across the course of a season, and a high-tempo, high-intensity press could inflict injuries on the team. If you're curious about any of the player roles in today's video, I've got different playlists that you can check out. I've also got a Patreon account if you'd like to support the channel. Anyway, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.